What's up, peeps? What's up? Can you see? It's kind of bad. Boop, boop, boop. Did that help? That I don't think that helped. Boop, 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 boop. Okay, maybe. So, God, I need to do something about my edges. So anyway, listen. Yesterday, right? This live stream is open too. I opened the one I did yesterday about how I became a millionaire and how I burned through that money. $1 million is not a lot of money. Being a single digit millionaire is not a lot of money, okay? And that's mainly the message that I was trying to convey yesterday about how you don't need to try to get $1 million or $5 million. At the least, you need to be trying to get $10 million, okay? 5 years, 10 years. Some people wait and save and wait 36 years to get $1 million, $2 million, something like that, because they're saving maybe only 20% of the income that they make. Okay. So my point yesterday was you need to be saving more than 20%, number one. Number two, you need to be having some type of passive income on top of your earned income. And don't think that $1 million is a lot of money. Don't go out here buying cars and all types of stuff that you don't need, because that's not helping you. Looking rich is not equivalent to being rich. Okay. So yesterday, like I said, I did that live stream yesterday. And inside of the comment section, right? I had to moderate this comment section, and it's the sad part about being on YouTube, okay, or maybe just being on social media in general. I've been on social media for a long time, and as the years go by, people's comments get weirder. They get ruder and weirder, and I noticed that a lot of people, when they click onto things, they watch videos for like 2 minutes and then they don't look at the rest of the content. So their comment will be so outlandish and wrong, like they weren't listening. So I had to delete a lot of comments yesterday. And my moderators don't play. My moderators, if you don't listen before you comment and you come trying to argue back and forth with me, my moderators will delete you. If you come into my comment section and say something negative, my damn moderators would delete you. You call me names or stupid or claim I'm lying or something weird like that, moderators will delete you. So that's why I've been a little bit more careful when I do live streams, and I've been turning it on to members only, because trolls, I don't know why people think it's so cool to troll. But anyway, the comments inside of that comment section made me want to do another video about being a millionaire and about passive income and about home ownership and a lot of the things that I said that might have been classified as controversial. Now remember, people have opinions and perspectives and lives that are different from yours. Me, I'm not going to argue with you. I'm just telling you, what's happening in my life and what I've learned and what I've observed. Okay, so I'm going to go over a couple of things. Number one, somebody came into my comment section and asked me, after I said my mother won a settlement, right? That's how I ended up becoming a millionaire. My mother won a settlement, and a piece of that money she gave me to invest in a business. People ask me, did your mother feel comfortable with you burning through $1 million of hers? My mother didn't give me $1 million. My mother didn't have $1 million. Okay, I had to use the money that she gave me to start my business and invest in my business in order to build $1 million. Okay, that's number one. All right, number two. Somebody said something along the lines of, and this comment is still up. They were talking about San Francisco versus Atlanta. It's a great comment. Go check it out. He was talking about how he didn't feel like $10,000 a month, less than that, means that you live in poverty, right? So I want to explain this. So, in the grand scheme of things, when you stand back and you look at the picture of how money flows inside of the United States, you will realize that if you making under $10,000 a month in the United States, you are living in poverty. And this is just in comparison to how much money is inside of the United States. He was talking about In Atlanta, if you make $100,000, that's good money. But in San Francisco, if you're making $100,000, it's not good money. No, making $100,000 a year is not good money anywhere. It doesn't matter whether you living in the swamp in Louisiana. $100,000 a year is not good money. It's hood rich money. And I'm so glad I moved to California because I got to live in a different tax bracket and to understand how money really works inside of this country and inside of the world. You are shortchanging yourself if you are living under $10,000 a year because there's so many opportunities for you to generate income. Okay, so it's not that I'm saying if you make $10,000 a month, you're living in poverty, and then you're walking around here living in the hood, walking around here barely being able to eat, stuff like that. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you're living in poverty in comparison to how much money is inside of this country. There's a lot of money flowing through here, and when you come to a place like where I'm living, you see it. It's different from living in Atlanta. See, let me tell you something about Atlanta. Atlanta is a whole bunch of black people who think because they live in these cheap, big ass houses that they paid. Okay? Their money would not survive here. Their money wouldn't survive here. That's how you know you genuinely don't have a lot of money if you can't live anywhere in the world. You need to be having more than enough money to have the freedom to live wherever it is that you want to live. Okay? If the money that you make only works in one place, you ain't got no money. If you can't travel outside of where you live at right now and live somewhere else, you ain't got no money. Okay? That's the point I'm trying to make. And I think it's because I've aimed higher and my tax bracket is higher. I look at money higher. Now, I'm not saying, like I said a minute ago, I'm not saying people who make less than $10,000 a year are living in poverty, like, somebody selling drugs on the corner, or you got prostitutes and stuff everywhere. You got people, just bums in the street doing. No, in this wealthy place, it's still bums in the street, but it's still bums in the street in this place with all this wealth. It is still bums. Just bums are everywhere. Like, that's just how it is. Bums are everywhere, and a lot of people. Look, here's an interesting part. I digress for a moment, but a lot of the homeless people who are homeless here are like happy homeless. That's a whole nother conversation. Matter of fact, if you go listen to Eckhart Tolle, in one of Eckhart Tolle's books, I think it was The Power of Now, he talks about how when he was homeless, that was the best time of his life. Okay? That's a whole nother video. But I'm not trying to offend anyone when I say if you make less than $10,000 a month, you're a bum. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, in comparison to the money that's made inside of this country, you are shortchanging yourself if you don't find a way to make over $10,000 a month. Because if you figure that out, which that's really the hardest part. Think about this. There are three types of income out there. You got earned income, you got passive income, and you got portfolio income. And to me, portfolio income and passive income are kind of the same. So let me just break that down. Earned income is the income you make when you're exchanging your time for money. So it means like your 40 hours a week, that's your earned income. Okay, you're selling your time. All right, with your portfolio income, that's the investments that you make. That's your portfolio, the investments that you make. Okay, and your passive income is like your residual income, basically the money that you make when you're doing absolutely nothing. Now, I'm not going to say absolutely nothing because you still got to do at least one thing to get, money into your passive income. To me, portfolio income is a part of passive income. So somebody asked me, how do you make passive income, right? Okay, so you make passive income through like ebooks, e-courses, YouTube channels, blogs, anything that creates residual income. All right, hold on. This is why I turn. You see this? You see this Trump? You see this Trump person posting over and over and over again. This is why I wanted to put on my membership. And a lot of people ask, why did Soncerae turn the membership on, and why does she put members only live chat? It's because of stuff like that. Did you see it? If you was in the live chat, you saw it. That's why I did that, because it eliminates that. So just beware I'm going to start cutting these live chats on. I forgot to cut it on yesterday, and I'm cutting. I purposely didn't cut it on today because this is like a, a segue. Okay, okay, that was like a segue for this. Okay, so I'm just this on, but that's the reason why I cut on my membership, so that people who come into my live chat and they want to chit chat with one another or they want to talk to me, they don't have stuff like that just coming all into the chat for no reason, okay? And then it takes a lot of stress off of my moderators because my moderators be blocking and deleting, and timing out, and I don't want them to have to do that. I don't want them to have to do that so much. Being a moderator needs to be easy on this platform, and YouTube has no control for some reason over this. So in order for me to control it, I turn on my membership, and my membership is $3.99. So join if you want to, okay? But once I start doing live streams, you won't be able to be in the live chat anymore once I start doing members only live stream, member live chat only live stream. So anyway, back to what I was saying about earned income, portfolio income, and passive income. These are the things that make you a millionaire, a double digit millionaire, okay? Being a single digit millionaire doesn't mean that you have a lot of money. I needed to clear that up because a lot of people felt some type of way. They thought I meant, oh, you're just broke. A lot of people feel very comfortable with making $100,000 a year and that's it. If that's the type of person you are, that's fine. But when you want to live these luxurious lives where you're in yachts and buying all of these cars and, doing all of this nonsense on some Floyd Mayweather shit, throwing ones and shit at the strippers, that type of wealth only comes when you are triple digit, double digit millionaire. You don't do that when you have $1 million. A million people who have $1 million to $10 million are basically middle class people who are looking for another source of income. Okay, once you get into double digit millionaire status, then possibly you can blow money in the club. But if you lived in Atlanta, you see a lot of thousandaires throwing cash. You understand? Because they think they got a lot of money. It is a mind fuck. Living in Atlanta, you still get what you pay for. Listen, I'll buy properties in Atlanta, right? Rental properties and rent them out to people, but live there, not so much. When you step out of these little places that you live in and you start seeing the world and how money works and flows in these other areas, you won't think Atlanta is so wonderful. You don't know any better if Atlanta's the only place you've been in or the West Coast is the only place you've been. And I don't mean because you visited other places, you understand how it works. You got to live there and see what the living there is like. Once you see what it's like to live other places, you won't think a place like Atlanta is so great, not even financially. Okay? Now, the cost of living is cheap in Atlanta because it's another tax bracket. But like I said, if the money that you make in wherever you live at, if you can't take that same money and live somewhere else, you don't have any financial freedom. The whole goal for each person is to have some type of financial freedom, right? So that means you got to aim higher. You can't think so low as, oh, $100,000 a year in Atlanta is great money, so I'm good. If you want a different type of lifestyle, you can't think that way. But if you want a simple lifestyle where it really don't matter to you, you just want to be, comfortable, and you okay with living with the crickets and the roaches and and the ratchet ass people and all the partying and all the college students, and you ain't really trying to go nowhere because you probably don't live like this amazing life already and you just want to chill, Atlanta might be a good place for you. You know what I'm saying? But there's people out there that dream bigger than that want more than that. You know what I'm saying? So there's so much hype in Atlanta that people think that Atlanta is one of those places where you can go and live like this luxurious life when really people in Atlanta are faking the funk. There's no real money generating around that place. When you go to places like San Francisco and you see the way money is flowing around here, you will look at Atlanta in a completely different way. Okay, so I'm not dogging anybody who is making under $10,000 a year. I'm not saying that whatever you was thinking that was negative, I'm not saying that about you. I'm just saying in comparison to how much money is inside of this country, you are shortchanging yourself if you haven't found multiple streams of income in order for you to make $10,000 a year and just earned income. We're just talking earned income here. We ain't even talking about the passive income that you got to make on top of that. I'm being realistic here. A lot of people don't understand how to make $1 million. So I'm teaching you how to make 1 million, and I'm telling you $1 million is not a lot of money. People be like, oh, if you give me $1 million, I'll be straight. No, you won't, because after you burn out of that, you're going to wish you had another million behind you. So the least that you should be trying to get is 10 million. Okay. Now, a lot of people want to win the lottery. A lot of people will go and put all their money into the lottery because they just want to get a lump sum. But when you get a lump sum, if you don't know what you're doing with it, if you don't know how to turn some of that income and invest it into a portfolio income or passive income, you're going to be fucked, okay? That's basically what happened to me. I sat here and earned all this money, but I didn't have any portfolio investments. I didn't have any passive income. I burnt through that money with a quickness, okay? So that's why I'm telling you, like, do not do that. One thing, like I said, when you get a lot of money, more problems. You got more fees. You change your lifestyle, so you got other things happening. Like, for example, when I decided to move into my house in San Francisco, right? My house, one of the houses in Tracy, okay? Remember when everybody found out I lived in Tracy, California? I was one of the properties. The biggest problem that I had with that property, I think, was probably maintaining it as far as landscaping. I had a landscaper, I had a housekeeper, I had fees like I had to pay for the water, I had to pay for the regular trash man to come, I had to pay for the recycling man to come. I had to pay for my water bill was sky high because I had sprinklers. These are things that you have to think about maintaining when you get all this money and you go buy a property. You have to put in money to maintain it. All right. So let's say you bought $1 billion house. If you don't have anything else, even if you're earning $100,000 a year and you live in $1 million house, how are you going to maintain your house? You know, a lot of people be like, well, I'm making, let's see, 4 grand a month. Okay, well, if you're making 4 grand a month, maybe two of that grand is going to your bills and stuff, right? You maintaining your lifestyle. And that other 2 grand, what are you doing with it? A lot of people will take that 2 grand and go to Vegas, go on a cruise or something crazy like that, instead of taking that 2 grand and investing it and turning it into passive income. Now remember what I said, passive income is like ebooks, e-courses. That's why you're seeing so many people who are YouTubers become millionaires and shit. Because that shit is residual income. My YouTube check be working when I go to sleep. Once I put this live stream up and it's monetized, I go to sleep. I still make money off of this live stream for months ahead because I have evergreen videos. I never try to do videos that have something to do with current events, because sometimes when you do videos that have to do with current events, those videos start losing their power after they've had their big boom that first week or month you may have released them. Evergreen videos are videos that you post that can help people for years to come. So I'm doing a video about you making less than $10,000 a month and you're living in poverty. This video, people will watch this video next year, and a year after that, and a year after that, and I'll still be making money off of it. If you look at all of the videos on my channel, for most part, most of them are evergreen videos. And a lot of people don't understand. You only have 500 views on this channel. Do you realize, on this video, do you realize that there are videos out there where it'll be covered in ads, right? It'll have not even, maybe just 1,000 views on it, and it'll make me more money within a quarter than a video that I posted and it has 24,000 hits on it. Each video is different because sometimes whoever put advertising on that video, their advertising gets clicked. See, it's about who clicks it. Now, it seems sometimes, like, for instance, I did a video about Derek Jackson. Okay, my video about Derek Jackson is called The Dark Side of Derek Jackson. And inside of it, I'm talking about how Derek Jackson makes content for Black women, and how, even though I'm not feeling his relationship advice is good for other women. And all of these people who are putting out this content saying that Derek Jackson did something bad to them, I'd rather it be women watching Derek Jackson than the videos that I see people making about black women where black women are being degraded. That's what that video was about. That video, the year I released it, okay, that video made me so much money. That video made me like $2,000. Okay, just that video by itself. And we're just talking about the month it was released. We're not talking about how much money it continued to make me with time. It's no longer my most popular video, but every time Derek Jackson does something like is on CNN or he was on the Frank Ski Morning Show with K. Michelle, every time Derek Jackson does something, that video makes me a lot of money. Okay, so and this was just one video I did. All right. Then I got other videos, like my videos about Ayanna Van Zant. Those videos still make me money. And I did those videos like 3 years ago. So my YouTube channel is my passive income. My YouTube channel is what you would do if you decided to go create an ebook or e-courses. Or, for instance, membership. Let's see, just use that as an example. Membership. People signing up for my membership on my channel is $3.99 a month, and that's just one level because it's 4 levels. And the higher you get up in levels, the more incentives you get. Like if you go into my channel and sign up for membership right now for $3.99, you get emojis, you get badges, you get all types of perks, right? But if you keep going and you decide to level up, eventually that money that you're paying monthly becomes residual income for me. That's what an e-course is. When you see people out here with like maybe courses on how to teach you, like, okay, let me give you an example of a course. Matter of fact, something like college. You ever been to college? How much money do you pay for college monthly? Guess who's making money off of that college? Okay, then. It's the same thing. That's basically what an e-course is. College. Just college online. You know what I mean? That's all it is. So, YouTube videos, blogs, e-courses, stuff like that. Now, somebody also came into my comment section and said, in order for you to generate some decent income, you have to have a skill set. You have to have a skill set. I said, earned income has got to be one of the hardest things you figure out because you got to figure out what you're good at, what you know how to do, and how to turn it into money. There are so many people that are so good at so many things, but they don't know how to turn it into money. Okay? That's one of the hardest things. Getting that earned income to be over $10,000 a year. Just the earned income, and that's it. We're not even talking about the additional money I said that you need to earn in passive income in order to become a millionaire. Once you figure out that earned income part, you get money. Okay? It's just figuring out what to do. So if you're only making $4,000 a year from your job, where you're selling your time, you need to try to find another job that you can sell your time. Like I told my daughter, I said, my daughter, she's 20, she's going to college, and I told her, I said, listen, when we would have conversations about college, I used to always tell her, don't go to school for what you passionate about. Sit with me. Don't lose your shit, because people lose their shit. Don't lose your shit, people that's watching, okay? Don't go to school for what you're passionate about, because usually what you're passionate about 9 times out of 10, it's God's gift to you, and you're going to naturally turn it into something amazing with time anyway if you keep doing it. Okay, you don't have to go to school for it because it's a passion. It's a gift. Your gifts are what God gave you, and if you just keep doing it, it'll naturally come to you. Like with me in graphic design, I'm just good at graphic design. I didn't go to college for graphic design, but yet here I am with a successful graphic design business. I didn't go to college for it. I just know how to do it. If you go look at my designs, you'll be like, damn, it looked like I went to college. It's because it's a gift. It was given to me. Okay? It was just something that was given to me, and just with time, it just brought income to me. I didn't have to go to college for it. But if you want to go to college, and not everybody who's a millionaire went to college, okay? You can um not go to college and be a millionaire. I think the guy that owns the Velvet Room in Atlanta, I think it's a Velvet Room. His name is Alex Gilliam. I think he was a foreigner that came to move. I think he's Ethiopian. He came here and was parking cars at a club and met Diddy, and him and Diddy built a relationship, and Diddy invested in him, and then he started owning all the clubs in Atlanta. Alex Gilliam. Go look up Alex Gilliam. I think he owns the Velvet Room in Atlanta. But he owned a lot of decent clubs in the 2000s and stuff like that. He generated a lot of income. Okay, I think he owns the Compound in Atlanta. So anyway, he didn't go to college. I don't think he was just parking cars. So you don't have to go to college to become a millionaire. Okay, going to college is great. Again, don't lose your shit. Okay, going to college is fine. I went to college. I listen. Calm down. So college. I told my daughter because I've always pushed college into her head. Okay, I told my daughter, do not go to college for what you are passionate about because your passion is usually your gift. If your passion isn't your gift, then this isn't for you. Okay, some people got a passion and they not good at it. Okay, whatever it is that you're good at, whatever it is that your gift is, be passionate about that and go and try to and just go out there and do it. And once you've been doing it for a while, you just get better at it because it's naturally yours. Okay, with college, I said, Dominique, go to college to get a certificate, to get a skill set for something in some industry that's going to make you a shit ton of money. Okay? Because number one, you got to pay back college loans. Okay? That's number one. If you're concerned about debt and credit, you you don't have to be concerned about debt and credit if you're not trying to make like these huge purchases and get loans. Okay? If you got cash or if you got a lot of cash flow, 9 times out of 10 you don't need credit. You understand? Because anybody anywhere, okay, and they don't tell people this, but when you have money, you can basically live just about anywhere. If you have money, someone's gonna let you live somewhere. You're gonna be able to buy whatever it is that you want, whether you got bad credit, debt, or not. Okay, so some people have college loans that they ain't even paid back yet or never paid back. All right, some people like that. Some people, and we're talking about people who have money. Okay, there's this guy out there right now who's giving YouTube advice, and he tells you don't even worry about your debt. Like, what? He'd be like, don't even worry about your debt. That's in the past. Don't even think about that. Don't even worry about that. Don't even care about that. Because he doesn't make big purchases. He doesn't go out there and try to, get loans and shit. Because really, that's all you really need credit for. If you're trying to get a mortgage loan, car loan, stuff like that. You need to have good credit. So to him, it's like, fuck my credit. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not out here buying big purchases anyway. But anyway, so I told my daughter, make sure that you go to college to get a degree in something that you're going to generate a lot of money income in, because you are going to have to pay for college. Okay, you're gonna have to pay back your student loans, so you don't want to go get a degree that isn't generating you a lot of money. So get you a STEM degree, or try to get your MBA. Try to go to school for finance or something like that. Something that you know that the economy is gonna need, or something that'll grow with time. Healthcare, something like that, because we're always gonna need healthcare professionals. We're always gonna need FBI investigative people. We're always gonna need certain industries and certain things. Okay, so this is why I was explaining to her about college. Okay, now that we've gotten over the 10 grand a month type of thing, and people was like in their feelings about it, and my bad, I didn't mean to make you feel some type of way, but get out your feelings when I'm having these money talks and I'm talking about money, because money ain't about your damn feelings. Hear what I'm saying, and broaden your mind. Try to stay open if you're gonna be here, because I'm telling you something good. I'm not pulling something out my ass to make you feel some type of way. Okay, so the next thing is home ownership. Someone heard me talk about how home ownership is a mind fuck. And let me explain how it's a mind fuck again, and let me be in more detail about how I disapprove of home ownership. Okay, so if you go around, especially around in the black community, you got a whole bunch of real estate people pushing this home ownership shit on you. It's because they get commission. So they're supposed to do. That's their job. They get commission. So with home ownership, you don't really own your home. The bank owns your home. What you do is get your credit good enough, get your beacon score good enough so that a bank can give you a loan so you can get whatever house you want, okay? And you'll be paying back that loan for 30 years. And then after 30 years, you own the home, okay? To me, that's a mind fuck. I think that you should rent. And the reason why I think that you should rent is because you never fully own the home. And once you own the home after those 30 years, you got an old ass 30 plus year old house that you need to renovate because it needs repairs. So someone said to me in my comment section, you can sell the house. Yeah, selling the house is kind of hard if it needs a shitload of repairs. Okay, some houses after 30 years, oh my God, it's kind of hard. It just depends on the market and depends on where you are, whether or not you can sell a old ass house. And I said, instead of you leaving a house to your kids, because that's a lot of reasons why people choose home ownership. They choose home ownership because they want their children to have something when they pass away. So my thing is, instead of leaving your children these old ass properties that they're going to have to spend money into renovating, probably money that they don't have if you didn't teach them what I'm saying about single digit millionaires versus double digit millionaires, you should leave them money instead of properties, okay, that you lived in. Now, what I did say is that real estate is one of the best portfolio incomes to have. Real estate. Personally, me, I'll buy some land and build something on top, because even if you own a home, you still don't own the lot. You still don't own the land underneath. So the goal is to own the land underneath, right? So that's what I would do, to get some land, build a house on top, right? Another thing that I would do as far as real estate goes is rental properties, meaning an apartment complex or an office building, because if you have a 32, 36 unit office building or apartment building, you're making money off of each unit. So just like, for instance, I'll get a house, own a house, and Airbnb that shit. You understand what I'm saying? I'll rent out a property, but live in it myself, not so much. Because after time, it gets wore down, and I don't want to put forth the money to renovate it. You know, I don't want to own anything in that way. I want money. You understand? For if I'm trying to hand something down to my kids. That's the reason why I said I don't believe in home ownership. Not because, I don't know, whatever reason y'all was thinking. But if you know how you could get a rent to own type of vibe where the monthly amount that you're paying to live in your home goes towards your home. And when it's time to sell your home, you might not make as much money as you've been putting into it each year that you've been putting money into it. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, say for instance, with a let me see if I can make this clear, because I don't want to confuse anybody. If you take out a home loan, right, for a mortgage, right, there's interest on top of that money that you're putting in monthly. So you never really get back the money that you put into the home, all of the money. You can only sell that house for more than what it's worth in the event that the market changes just suddenly, or maybe within a 10-year span. Like, people complain about that here in San Francisco. They be like, I moved here a decade ago and this house was less than blah, 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 blah. But I don't even want to move out this house to move somewhere else because houses are so expensive. My mortgage right now is blah, blah, blah. But if I move somewhere else, my mortgage is going to be much higher. That's the what's happening here in the Bay. And from what I understand, and that's happening in a lot of places. So you're kind of stuck with this house that you don't have money to renovate, and you can't really sell it, because then where you going to live? Because the market is so different. You're older now. You might not have enough money to even move somewhere else. So that's why I say home ownership is a mindfuck. Okay? It's people out there that want to do it, but know what real home ownership means. Home ownership is not you taking out the loan for a mortgage to pay a bank back. That's not home ownership. Home ownership is literally you buying some land and building a house on top of it. That makes more sense to me. It may not make sense to other people, but it for damn sure makes sense to me. Like, I'm not gonna take out no loan for no car, for no house. If anything, I'm just gonna rent it. You know what I mean? And rent it and use it until I'm done with it, and then move on. Like I said, when I was younger, I lived in um in Maryland. We lived in a house we rented for 10 years. So it's not like, you can't live just because you rent something, you can't live there for a long time. I think my grandmother lived in Stone Mountain in her apartment for like 20 years. In the same apartment for 20 years. I was like, you gonna move? She finally moved back to DC, but she lived in her apartment in Stone Mountain for 20 years, when we lived in Atlanta. So I think that renting is not like, I think people think renting is like, you're throwing money away, but you don't think you're throwing money away when you pay a car note monthly, because when you drive that car off the lot, it depreciates in value. So what's the freaking point? Like, you're spending all of this money just to keep this old ass, busted ass car. By the time you pay it off, it's busted and old and it needs repairs and it has all these miles on it. You could possibly sell it to somebody else, but you're not going to be able to sell it to somebody else for the same amount of money you bought it for, the same amount of money that you've been paying monthly on your car note for. So it's not worth it at the end of the day. And people think I'm out of my mind when I say this stuff. I get so offended. They get in their feelings. This is just from my experience, because I've bought cars, I've bought homes, I've rented. Right now, somebody asked me about the Lexus and the Tesla. Lease. I'm not the type of person that's going around here buying a whole bunch of shit. I don't want to look rich, y'all. I don't want to look wealthy. I want to be wealthy. It's a difference. It is a huge fucking difference between being wealthy and looking wealthy. Black people love to look wealthy. They love looking wealthy over anything. So a lot of times when I'm having these conversations on my live chats about money, okay, not even just live chats, but when I do videos about money in general, people who come into the comment section, a lot of people are happy to hear what I'm saying. Then you got other people who feel some type of way. They in their feelings about what I'm saying. Okay, if you make these are the points, and then I'm getting off. Okay, if you make less than $10,000 a month, you are living in poverty in comparison to how much money is flowing inside of this country. You need to go out there and try to get you more earned income, even if that means you got to go out there and get you some side hustles. And you only got to do that temporarily, because once you build your passive income, you could stop it with all of the side hustles. All right, you could slow that down. But if you aren't making $10,000 a month, you are shortchanging yourself. Okay, that was the point I was trying to make. All right. Number two, um, what was I saying? Number two, home ownership. Home ownership is a mind fuck. Okay, you don't take your home or your money with you when you die. So of course you want to leave something for your children, right? Leave money to your kids. Money, passive income, some residual type of income that they can make money, intellectual property, something to your kids outside of a tangible, like a thing, a material. Because, and money is a material, don't get it twisted. But don't look at money as a way for you to go out there and buy things. Go out there and try to get your freedom so you can experience the world. Okay? All right? Your mindset needs to be on the freedom to experience the world. Now, if you want to experience fancy cars, just make sure you're a double-digit millionaire. If you want to blow money in the strip club on hoes, just make sure you're a double-digit millionaire. Make sure you have that passive income, that residual income that's going to make you money forever. Yesterday I said there are athletes out there who made millions while they were playing ball. Then when they stopped playing ball, where'd that money go? Because they were spending that money on bullshit and didn't spend that money on passive income or portfolio income. You have to have all three types of income in order to survive. Wealthy, okay? Earned income, portfolio income, passive income. All right? Investments, residual income. If you're exchanging your time, the whole goal to me is not having to exchange your time. Once you become a triple digit millionaire, you will no longer have to sell your time. Think about that. That means you make $100 million. That means you have in your possession $100 million. Sometimes it takes people 30 to 36 years to just save 20% of their income to get just $1 million. That's why you need to save more than 20%. More than 20%. Most of your income needs to go into your passive income. Most of it. Pay your bills. Get you some food. Get you a little, rotisserie from Safeway. You know what I mean? Get you a little, life happens, of course. Like I said yesterday, you have illness, car accidents, repairs on the home, like maybe the house you live in need a plumber. You got to pay for that. You got to pay all types of fees and stuff with your business. This is another thing. Oh, let me not forget this. Businesses. Oh my God. Businesses. I'm a business owner. You guys know that. So my first business was not a good business. And the reason why I classify it as not a good business isn't because it wasn't successful. Okay. All of the philanthropic work I did, all of the community service events I did, all of the amazing things I did while I was, own that business was great. I love being around those type of people. I love giving back to the community. I love that. The problem with my business was it wasn't something that I could classify as creating a good investment to where it was creating passive income. It was a liability. I was putting more money into maintaining my business than I was generating income from it and income to put into passive income. You know what I mean? Like I wasn't the business. All right, put it like this. So I won't confuse anybody because I think I confuse people a lot. The stuff I be seeing in my comment section. Either y'all just dumb or I'm just confusing y'all. So I'm just going to try to clear up things because when I see my comment section, I swear to God, I'd be like, I did not say that. This is what I said. I be getting mad. This is what I said. You know what I'm saying? And I said what I said. You know what I mean? That's how I be. So I don't want to, let me make it clear. The business that I had was called Block 11. Okay? And it wasn't until later on that I started doing a lot of charity. At first, it was Block Dimes. And I was selling advertising space. And because I was good at marketing and good at graphic design and stuff like that, excuse me, it kind of made sense for me to do it. But the marketing dollars to me wasn't generating enough money to pay all of my employees, pay for, like I said yesterday, if you wasn't in a live stream yesterday, let me explain it to you. I would have fashion shows and events and stuff like that. And when I would have these events and shit, I would have to pay models. Like say for instance, I had 20 models with me, and I would have to pay each one of those models $20 an hour, and I would have to pay for them to eat and to drink, and I would have to pay for a hairstylist or a makeup artist. So these models can be beautiful. Sometimes I had to pay for their clothing or pay for their rides there. These are all expenses, just a shitload of expenses. So when people ask me, how did I burn through $1 million? It's because my expenses were much higher than how much money I was making off of the business. So if you create a business, right, it's a good investment to be a business owner, right? It's a great idea. But make sure whatever business that you have creates more income than it does expenses. That's the problem. Like when they talk about, remember, you ever heard the story of MC Hammer? MC Hammer. Now, remember when I was talking earlier in the live stream how I had a property in Tracy that my mother was living in? And it was the first property that I ended up renting. Finally, after I had been homeless, after my son was born, the first property I ended up living in was in Tracy. All right. And MC Hammer lived up the street in this beautiful mansion. Okay. And the houses in Tracy are beautiful. All right. It's beautiful. Tracy's a beautiful place to live. You know what? This entire place is beautiful as hell. Okay. I'm not even going front. California in general is beautiful. It is worth every goddamn cent. Okay. It is so much. It is worth every goddamn cent. Let me just put it like that. So, anyway, MC Hammer lived down the street. Everybody that lived in Tracy their whole life or lived in the Bay Area know where MC Hammer lived. Do y'all remember when MC Hammer went broke? Have you heard MC Hammer talk about what made him be broke? Now, we all know that MC Hammer had to be a multimillionaire at some point because he's MC Hammer. Okay? MC Hammer himself will tell you the reason why he ended up being broke is because he didn't have any portfolio income, he didn't have any passive income, and he would have all of these people around him. He would have all of these entourages. He would have all of these dancers and shit he'd have to pay for and take care of. When you take care of people, or you're the type of person that has a lot of people around them, you lose money. Lose money. Me, that's how I was losing so much money. Taking care of everybody. I don't regret taking care of everybody because that's the type of person I am. I like philanthropic work. I have a lot of altruism. I love charity. I love giving to people. Like I said, I used to go to the restaurants, and I was telling my daughter this. I used to go to the restaurants and holidays and stuff. I've give like wait staff $100, $500. Just hand it over. People used to ask me for money like bums, homeless people. I be out in front of Walmart and damn off Panola Road and shit in Georgia. Homeless person walk up to me, ask me for some money. I give him $100 bill. That's the type of shit I was doing when I was a millionaire. And a single digit millionaire. And that is so stupid. That is so stupid. But the average person that was walking down the street would have never been able to tell I was a millionaire. They never would have been able to tell unless they talked to me or asked me for some money. They wouldn't have known. Because I wasn't living this lavish lifestyle where I had all of these things. I was driving a Saturn. Real millionaires don't do all that. You know, real millionaires are not walking around here with Lamborghinis and shit all the time. You know, some millionaires like toys, but they can avoid those toys. Don't go buy stuff you can't afford. And what I notice about the black community is that the black community buys a whole bunch of shit they can't afford. They get money for 2 minutes and be like, oh, let me go buy a house. Can you really afford that house? Can you maintain that house? Is that house going to bring you some money later on? Yeah, you could sell that house in 30 years after you own it. Yeah. But be honest with yourself about your finances. Live well below your goddamn means. Live well below, like that lady on that movie. What's that movie? It's a Tyler Perry movie. What's that damn movie? What's the movie with Alfred Woodard Alfred, where she rich and she owned a restaurant and her 2 kids don't know? It's Sanaa Lathan. Sanaa Lathan in the movie, and she is married and she had a baby by the white guy that worked at her company. Y'all remember that? What was the name of that movie? And the white guy, his mother was like killed herself, and she was Alfred Winter's best friend. Do y'all remember this? What is the name of it? Robin Givens was in it. Do y'all remember? No, not something new. No, it was a movie. God, it was this movie. And inside of the movie, Sanaa a family that prays. A family that damn praise. Okay? That lady, you didn't even know she had money. Because she didn't act like a millionaire. She was just regular. But she had freedom. And that's what you need to be trying to get. The freedom to up and go somewhere when you feel like it. If you want to travel, you can. You ain't got to strain and scrape up a couple of dollars just so you can go on a trip. You understand? The money that you earning, where you are, if you can't take that same money and live somewhere else, you don't have any money. Think about that. That's how you need to look at money. The money that you making in the current city that you living in, okay? If the cost of living is cheap, great. You're saving on some money. But can you take that same money that you earn every day, earn income, portfolio income, passive income, can you take all of that income and abruptly move somewhere else and still be comfortable paying rent there or whatever? That's the question. Do you have that type of freedom? That's all I have to say. Speaking of freedom, give me some money. Cash at me, Revenue Digital. $ Revenue DM. It's in my description box. You know what I don't like? I don't like my super chat. Is anybody? I know anybody hasn't come into my super chat because, oh, hey, Fallon! Thank you for becoming a member. I appreciate that. I think a lot of people think I don't have members, but I do. So, so I'm gonna turn my membership on. So just know with time that my membership, my live chat won't be open. Let's see. Goes back to what I was saying. People that's making money think about money totally different from us. Yeah, let me tell you something before I go. I got 10 minutes. So listen, millionaires look at money, or people with money look at money different from people who don't have any. People who don't have any money, it's hard to speak to them about money because they don't understand how money works. That's the point of me doing my money talk videos. I had stopped doing them for a while. I stopped doing them. I have a playlist up, but I always wanted to do videos about money because I understand money. And I think a lot of people think because I was homeless that I don't understand money. What made me homeless, and let's talk about what made me homeless before I go. That's a good ending to this live stream. What made me homeless? All right. So I was in let's see, it's 2020. So in 2016, right, I was having like this terrible year because shit happens in life with your like family members. You got diseases that you got to work out. Sometimes something happens to your family member and it trickles over. Something happened to one of my family members, and I never shared this story, and I never will because it's so private. And I've said this, if you go back and look at other videos of me talking about me being homeless, I talk about how this thing happened with one of my relatives, and it threw my whole life off. Okay, this is in 2016. It threw my whole life off. My daughter's life, everything. Life just went crazy. So I ended up broke, right? Because of that. And so it took me time. It took me like another year to get multiple sources of income where I had earned income and passive income and portfolio income. And I was doing stuff like driving Uber, my graphic design business. I had multiple sources, okay? And so in 2017, by this time, I was getting back to my feet to where I could finally, like, live by myself and everything was going fine. And then I met Priest, okay, my son's father. And so Priest, right, of course he had a job. He was making like $12 an hour. And I was not relying on him to give me money because I always knew he didn't have any, right? So I was like, well, I'm not going to worry about you and what you doing because I'm good. You know what I mean? And whoever needs to pay for dates can pay for dates. It doesn't matter. And that was a big mistake. Like, ladies, do not date somebody who's broke, because if you got yourself together and that person is broke, you will become broke because you have to start taking care of them as well. And they might not return that favor. Okay? And that's another thing with Priest. So he was kind of broke because he was only making $12 an hour. He didn't understand money. He didn't understand multiple sources of income, the difference between earn passive income, earn income, portfolio income. My son's father didn't understand it, but he had dreams of being an investor, right? So my goal was to teach him what I knew about money and business and help him start his businesses. This is where Yaora came into play. Yaora is my clothing line, which if you become a member, at the highest degree, you get free Yaora merchandise. Okay? So, yes, I still have Yaora. I started Yaora for Priest. Okay? Because Priest was telling me his dreams. He was telling me who he always wanted to be. And I was like, all right, we gonna execute this stuff. So the first thing he said to me was he wanted to design t-shirts. So I was a graphic designer, so I started designing t-shirts for him. So that was the first business we started. Then he saw me doing other businesses and working with other people, but he didn't want me working with people of the opposite gender. Now, anybody who's done business, you know, most people in business are male. So if you are a business owner and you're a woman, you're going to have to deal with men regardless. Priest didn't want me dealing with men. So I had to get rid of close business partners that I didn't want to get rid of. But I had to switch them out to find something like Qmati. Remember, Qmati was the photographer for my magazine. And me and Qmati had been friends for 10 years. But we dated for 2 months before I met Priest. So Priest didn't want me around Qmati. By this time, I already knew that I wanted Priest to be my husband, and Priest was already talking about being my husband. So I wanted to do whatever my husband wanted to do. So I got rid of Qmati to replace him with a female. Now, if you live in the city of Atlanta, you know how difficult it is to find a decent photographer. There are photographers everywhere, but we're talking about decent ones. Okay? I don't know what decent ones are very hard to find. All right? So I was struggling. And the more I couldn't find a photographer, the longer it was going to be for me to put out the magazine, because you need a photographer to shoot the people that you're interviewing. Because I was interviewing business people, I was interviewing TV personalities, anybody that was doing something positive for the community, any type of charity, philanthropy, I would feature them in my magazine. But when you don't have a photographer, you're struggling. That was the biggest mistake I made, because I had to put my magazine on hold. Right? I was like, oh my God. So this is what ended up happening. I was getting rid of people and stopping businesses that Priest didn't want me to continue having. So when you get rid of a business, and this is one thing that this idiot didn't get, when you get rid of a business, you're getting rid of a source of income. And so as I'm meeting him, I'm realizing that not only am I spending money on him, and we're supposed to be doing things half and half, but he a man, so he's supposed to be taking care of as many things as possible anyway. But me being a woman, I was like, who had her own source of income, it was just like, okay, I'll pay for half the dates. I'll pay for us to go on a trip. You know, I'll give half when, on dates, shit like that. Women are not supposed to be doing that. Men are supposed to be handling that. Okay? Now, um, with time, I'm losing sources of income. All right? And it's a trickle down effect. It's like I'm losing this, so I'm losing this, so I'm losing this, so I'm losing, and I'm starting to realize I'm not making as much money as I used to. Then I got pregnant. And this is when things really went to hell. Okay? Because I can't work. If you know about the first trimester of pregnancy, oh my God. That's listen, women should be able to take off from work and get maternity leave the second they realize they're pregnant to the second they baby turn like 6 months. Okay? Because I'm telling you, that first trimester of pregnancy is the hardest part of pregnancy. I thought I was going to die. Now, mind you, I had already had fertility issues to begin with. So I was scared. I didn't want to do nothing. I was already sick, so I didn't want to do nothing. I didn't want to do graphic design work. I didn't want to do anything that was generating me income, right? But I still managed to do my graphic design work sick, because I had to stay in. I was on house arrest. House arrest. I was on I was on high risk bed rest. I was on bed rest. So I was doing graphic design work. And so what helped me through that process um, was donations from you guys. That's what helped. But anyway, during this time I was looking for another place to live, right? Before I started losing my sources of income, I was looking for another place to live. And I wanted my own apartment. And so Priest wanted his own place with me. So that's how we ended up in a hotel. We ended up in a hotel because we were looking for a place to live. That's how we ended up in a hotel initially. Then we just got stuck there because he wasn't being realistic about his income. He wasn't being realistic about where we should live. He just wasn't, he didn't have his mind together. And my ass was dumb sitting here letting go my sources of income for some nigga that didn't even have good intention for me to begin with. So, ladies, there's the lesson when I sit here and I tell my stories about my relationship with priests. It's more than one lesson in that shit. Not just business, finances, relationships, love. It's not just, oh, Soncerae is just butt hurt over some nigga, so she wants to keep talking about him. No, it's, bitch, I learned a lot of lessons and I'm about to teach them bitches to you so you won't do it. Okay? That's all it was. So, yeah, we ended up in the hotels, and hotels, living in hotels is very expensive. It's very expensive. Even in Atlanta, living anywhere, being in a hotel is expensive. You're kicking out more money than you should. Okay, you can spend that money on your own house. So that's how we ended up. I ended up kind of broke, and the goal was always to move to California. Priest was supposed to come to California with me, and he didn't. Because obvious reasons. And now I'm here, and everything I said I was gonna do with the money that people gave me, I did. I didn't like scam people out of money. I literally got onto my YouTube channel and said I'm broke and I'm pregnant and I need to move to California. And I raised $10,000 in crowdfunding, and that's how I ended up moving here and getting myself together. And people sent me a shitload of stuff for my son, because remember I have a virtual baby shower, so people sent me a whole bunch of gifts for my son. So that's it. That's an hour for y'all. That's an hour for that ad. So anyway, I wasn't trying to offend anybody when I said what I said. I apologize, but it ain't my job to protect your feelings. I'm here to tell you what's really good so you can get out of some of these situations that you're in and change your life. That's all it's about. Okay? Okay. All right. Okay. I gotta go, y'all. Have vision and stay focused. Namaste.